Take a pay cut and lose benefits or be fired? Okay, have fun reworking your entire system. Long-time lurker. First-time poster. Using alt account for privacy concerns. Anyways, on to the story. I work as a logistical consultant and have done so for the past 7 years. Most of my work is short-term contracts to update, optimize logistical systems for manufacturers and delivery businesses. I do have a couple of long-term contracts with repeat clients, and this story is about one such client. I got a job offer 6 years ago with a friend who inherited his family's machine shop. His father is a brilliant man but not business savvy in the slightest. And the entire business was teetering on bankruptcy. My main job there was optimizing the production method for both existing contracts and future contracts. This was my first long-term contract, but I had been doing similar work for a few years and had gotten a couple of patents for producing some intricate parts before getting this job. In the contract negotiation, I made sure that any patents developed in the course of my work would be retained completely by me. The contract term was 5 years before reevaluating. It took a lot of time and work. But the company became rather successful, especially considering the condition my friend inherited it. The 2020 happened, and after about a year of trying to stay afloat, my friend sold to some entrepreneur who wanted to get into the industry. In the months prior to the sale, the new boss was trying to familiarize himself with the business. Being in charge of logistics, I had given him a tour of the place and informed him of the patented methods used. This was happening right around the time my contract reevaluation was supposed to happen, and I asked whether I'd be negotiating with him or the new boss. He realized I didn't want to be stuck in a contract. I would negotiate with him if he wasn't gonna be my boss, and he assured me that he'd make sure my new contract would be negotiated with the new boss. The new boss started restructuring and laying off most salaried employees and cutting benefits like vacation and sick time as soon as the acquisition went through. I was not a fan of this new boss, since he, in addition to this, was an ass with zero experience and refused to acknowledge that fact. He did not understand what exactly my job was and thought it was unnecessary. I could tell he was just waiting for my contract negotiation. Fast forward about a month into the new regime and enter the shitshow that was my negotiation. He was of the opinion that I was overpaid and inefficient. He all but said that I was unnecessary. My only options were to either essentially become a part-time contractor with an effective 70% cut to what I was making and none of my benefits, or be fired. When he gave me the ultimatum, I was beyond shocked. I immediately contacted my lawyer and he told me the contract was absolutely insulting. Needless to say, I chose option 2. Over the course of my time there, I had filed 2 patents that were extensively used by the company. With shorter contracts, I typically negotiate for better royalty rate than benefits or salary. But since this business was both with my friend and supposed to be long-term, I opted for negotiating benefits. About a week after the negotiations were completed, I told the new boss we'd need to discuss royalties before my term was officially over. He was not amused and was dismissive. After enough pressing from me, we had a meeting with lawyers present. What's important to know is that one patent is extensively used in the production of an electrical device for the company's biggest client. The royalties deal written up by my lawyer was the standard one I use for most companies, which is more expensive than my previous contract. New boss was shocking and fuming, saying how this was completely ridiculous and bordering on extortion considering how much more expensive it would be, and how not being able to use the patent would mean he'd lose clients while shifting production methods. I told him that he had in total 6 months of time to figure out what it was that I did and to familiarize himself with the company and the fact that I had told him when I gave him the tour that I was the patent holder. He also could have asked for a quote and my usual rates. The first meeting ended very abruptly after this, and 3 days later he came with an insulting counter offer where I'd be employed again but with far less benefits than I originally had. I told him I don't want to work for him and that he either pays my rate or change production methods. This would entail replacing a lot of tooling and equipment and retraining workers. He threatened to sue and got rather belligerent, so I told him I'd see him in court if that was the case. Otherwise, he knows my offer and has my contact info. He quickly realized that even in the unlikely event of the court deciding in his favor, that he'd still lose a lot of money in legal fees. After the meeting, I told my lawyer to draft a cease and desist and have it ready for when the contract expires. New boss started looking for my replacement. He had not stopped production or even told the clients about it during this time period. The day after my term ended, I sent the cease and desist letter and production stopped. He lost most clients. Most employees just jumped ship and last week declared bankruptcy. Hope he learned his lesson. Never screw over the logistics guy. I was kinda waiting for so I went to the bankruptcy auction. Long story short, I own a machine shop with a few clients. I just happened to have the production line patents for already laid out. My logisticians are a humorless lot. They know they are the first ones I will slay if my campaign fails. Alexander the Great. Wow. This was the nuclear option. Nicely done. I wish I'd been smart enough to retain the rights to all the patents I created for previous employers. Oh yeah. Posts like these sustain me. We've all worked with sustains of a boss before. I've been fired while being a consistent top 5 performer in a sales environment, and seeing the startup completely bomb in 4 months after he fired me was the best feeling in the world. I want to know how in the world you got a contract where you kept the patent rights. Pro revenge. Never screw over the guy with the literal legal keys to the kingdom. I'll take my patents and go home. And you have fun trying to operate your business now. Play stupid games, win a bankruptcy prize. Did you send him a friendly email asking how he in business was with a formal, looks good on you at the end? This is awesome. Congratulations. Fuck that guy. Repost under nuclear revenge. I think I'm in love with you. Exclamation mark. This is one of the most soul-satisfying stories I've ever read. Is it possible to learn this power? I know if someone who has a patent of a current manufacture process. It is still in the payroll and works, whenever he feels like it. Perhaps. Might the old owner reclaim the biz at a huge discount? This totally. Every company is a logistics and IT company, just most also do something else. It's amazing how anyone who is so clueless has enough money to buy these businesses in the first place, then proceeds to run said business into the ground. Jesus Christ, this should go to nuclear revenge. Holy fuck. MBA textbook question. Q. How to make a cow eat less and yield more milk? A. Feed it less and milk more. Got to admire a capitalist who sticks to his fuck everyone, guns and cheap mentality to the point that he loses the successful business he bought. I'm actually shocked that he ceased production. That part of the story doesn't sound very believable. He seems like the kind of guy to go forward anyway.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.